So can you start by introducing who you are, where you share content, and what you like to share?
Hi there, my name's Alex and I run an Instagram and personal finance TikTok with the same handle at Broke Girl Wealth.
And can you tell me more about the content you share and where you find inspiration for sharing?
I started my Instagram with the hope that I could provide a little bit more of that clarity that I felt like I was missing when I first started investing. I think a lot of the time, the reason people put off investing is because it seems confusing, it seems complicated. You hear all these myths like it's gambling or it's only for rich old men, and you kind of just tune out. And I was the same. And I hoped to make my Instagram, first of all, a little bit of a safe place to ask, the dumb questions. And I don't think any question is dumb, because if you don't know, you don't know. And hopefully be a little bit of the light in a dark room for my followers. And the content I share is, first of all, in a channel that we use. So Instagram and TikTok are places that young people are on. And the aim is to be hopefully a little bit funny, but make these kind of concepts that are really important to understand when you first start investing a little bit easier. And then you can then go on with that little bit of empowerment, that little bit of support to research on your own, understand what you're doing, and then pick the right investment products for you, or even know where to get help, because that's often a really difficult question that we don't often get answers to. Like, okay, do your own research. Where do I go and get that research from?
And could you tell me really, why do you believe investing is critical to beating inflation? And what are the compounding benefits?
So we often hear about, inflation rates are blah, or the consumer price index is doing something. And I know for me, I just tuned out because I didn't get it. I didn't really understand how it was so important to my life, or if it even had any relevance to my life. But you begin to realize that inflation is just the increase in cost of things that you purchase every day, whether that's your milk or your car insurance. Inflation is a measure of how much did it cost yesterday and how much does it cost today. And the reason that's so important is because your money needs to be out earning inflation in order for you to have more money this year, in order to continue funding all those things that have gone up in price. Now, for a lot of us, it's not something we think about, but over the last 10 years, for example, a grocery shopping trolley full of $100 worth of groceries in 2010 is $120.81. I did look it up before this meeting. So that's almost a 21% increase. So everything's gone up by, on average, 21% in that time. And if you think about, your salary, where a lot of us are just entering the professional market, we are seeing those larger salary increases. But as you get older, those salary increases tend to sort of level out and they get a lot smaller. And at the same time, keeping money in your bank account might only be earning you 0.5, if you're lucky, percent interest. So if the consumer price index, which is just how much of things increased, is 1.1%, if your bank account isn't beating 1.1%, then in real terms, your money is worth 1.1% less, minus any interest you get to sort of offset that. So you can actually purchase 1.1% less this year than you could last year, which is kind of a weird thought, because you just think money, well, there's $1,000 in there last year, there's $1,000 in there today, but the purchasing power has changed. And so when you start to unpack this, you realize that for long-term wealth, in order to offset the impact of inflation, that's why people invest, because they want to make sure that their money is able to purchase the same amount today as it is tomorrow. And why is investing this magical thing? Well, your investments can compound. So today, let's say you invest $500 and then you invest that amount every month for the next 10 years, let's say. Investing takes an investment amount of around about 60,000. So that's how much you would have if you had it in your bank account, plus any interest you might accrue. And over 10 years, you would have earned around about $32,000 just in your investments compounding. So in total over that 10-year period, you'd have $92,000, of which only 2/3 was money you put in. The rest is just interest rates doing their magic, and the power of an investment sitting in an investment account for a long period of time and actually having the time to compound. And that's really it. You just want to try and beat inflation. It's the name of the game.